What's up, everyone? Welcome to That's the Angle, hosted by your boy, me, Bruce Allen, or as you might know me on Instagram at the Bruce Allen. And right now, I have the podcast YouTube, and then I have the IGTV. So if you're gonna look at one, Mark, look at this one,
Right.
or just pretend they're not there. Look at me,
All right.
actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
But guys, I am joined today with a photographer that I truly admire. Otherwise, I would not have him here. And his name is, I'm going to let him tell you what his name is. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mark Mackoviak.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Yeah.
And so Mark is a photographer from Instagram. And like, just quickly before we get into like, what kind of photography do you do?
Landscape photography.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah, like I noticed that like something that attracted me to your photography and specifically was it was landscape and you didn't do any crystal ball stuff. You know?
If you go back far enough, there's some crystal ball.
No!
Oh yeah.
Like you actually have crystal ball stuff?
There's at least one photo in there with a crystal ball.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Like I am so sick of like this crystal ball trick of like the National Monument in Washington D.C. It's so overdone at this point.
Yeah, this crystal ball. There's some light strand stuff in there too.
Well, you know what, dude? We've all done it. I mean, like, I just posted something with smoke bombs. You know, so
Yeah.
like no one's perfect.
I've
you
never
know?
tried that, but
Hey, add that next to your list. But the thing that I thought was really cool about your photography is like it was landscape, but like it's very colorful, and
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of like long exposure and
Yeah.
everything. What's your approach to that? Like what? Like tell me your thinking. Like how do you approach like a long exposure landscape shot? Like what goes into it? Like just riff on that.
I mean, if you see the most popular stuff I post on Instagram, it's going to be an ND filter, long exposure with water, and a colorful sunset. And that's like
ND filter meaning neutral density filter.
neutral density filter.
Okay.
That's the key for basically all my shots for
For
that
long-
post on there.
So long exposure landscape means you need an ND filter.
Yeah,
And what kind do you use? You mind me asking?
I'm using lead filters.
Like, what's like the gradient on it? Like, I don't never go too technical on this podcast, but I feel like when someone looks at your photos, they're gonna be like, "What kind of filter is that?"
It's just a 10 stop. There's just the entire thing, like not a GV filter.
It's not like graduated or anything. It's just
no. I mean, I use those sometimes. I haven't been using one lately because there's just something else to buy. Lead filters are not cheap.
like okay, yeah,
I don't
and
know if
like
you've used them.
just for people if they don't know what a ND or a graduate filter is, it's basically like putting sunglasses on the front of your camera.
Right.
And that way, when you're like doing like long exposure, meaning like you're taking it's a long picture, like the camera is seeing things for longer than like a fast second. It reduces the amount of light it gets. Therefore, it gets super. It gets super nerdy.
Yeah, and then like I even have a 20 stop one, so you could literally take a 2-hour exposure
That's
in the
like
middle of the day.
yeah, you could like shoot in the desert
Yeah.
and have everything come out perfect.
Yeah, that's a good example.
So, I'm gonna guess that most people might have already looked your profile up by now. Do you go back and do Photoshop after you shoot? Like
Lightroom.
you use only Lightroom?
I used Photoshop on this last Milky Way shot I got. That's the first time, probably. I'm never gonna learn Photoshop though. I've already given up on it. It's too much.
It is a lot, dude. Like
Which,
it's like doing brain surgery and then doing Lightroom is kind of like the old game where you would like was it Operation? There you go.
Right.
That's why I compare Lightroom.
well, that and if you watch any tutorials, they're all on Macs, and I have a PC, so
Damn.
just giving up on that. I'm
Damn.
at the point in life, 36, so I'm not gonna learn anything new.
Yeah, let's like talk about that for a second. So when and what got you into photography?
What got me into photography? I think it was traveling. Like I was down in Patagonia, and of course there's photographers everywhere there. And I was just taking pictures with my cell phone.
Dude, what were you doing in Patagonia?
I was on a motorcycle trip.
Okay.
Rode like 2,000 miles through there.
Oh shit! So you're like
By myself.
you're the kind of guy who like rides motorcycles and like do the
Yeah.
desert kind of stuff.
Yeah, ideally.
That's badass, man.
It's expensive though.
Is it?
But yeah.
Dude.
So not too many more of those trips coming up.
Do you wear a leather jacket when you ride?
No.
Okay. How about chaps?
No, no.
How about boots?
No, just Gore-Tex boots. Yeah.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay, so it started in Patagonia.
Yeah. Just and then looking back on photos, like with a cell phone, you're not going to get that much. They're not going to be great shots. And then looking through other stuff, it's like, all right, why don't my photos look like this Chris Ricard, whatever his name is, shot in Patagonia? Then sort of eventually bought a camera, and then I was only shooting when I'd travel somewhere. And I came across a couple on I started messing with Instagram and came across a couple of photos around DC, and I was like, oh, you can shoot in DC, just go out and shoot. That never crossed my mind until probably 2 years ago.
So why were you traveling, if you mind me asking?
Just to do something.
Just
yeah.
Was it like your biker gang, or was it just like
no, it was
cross country stuff?
Quarter life crisis, maybe something like that.
Oh, okay.
I got to get out of here. I got to do something different.
Quarter life crisis. You're in Patagonia.
Yeah.
You're looking like a stud on a bike. And you take a picture with your cell phone, and you're like, why doesn't this look amazing?
Yeah.
In that moment, you were like, I want to get a camera and document this stuff myself.
Yeah. After that. Because I did have a GoPro, and you know how the quality of that is just terrible.
It's like fisheye and
yeah. So I was taking a lot of video with that, and then I was going to do a sort of similar trip in Bolivia. So that's when I actually bought a camera, GH3, Sonic Micro Four Thirds, which is good for video, but
you don't know what you're doing when you buy your first camera.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how you waste a lot of money.
Dude, my first camera was like a YouTube Canon Rebel. It was complete trash. And I did paid photo shoots with it. Thanks for the money. And no one can tell the difference to this day.
Yeah. I didn't go full frame until this past October, I think.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that really makes a difference, though?
Oh, yeah.
In landscape or just in general?
Well, for close-up stuff, I don't think it really matters. If you're doing portraits with it, I think it would probably work fine. Mm-hmm. But for landscapes, it makes a huge difference to me.
Okay.
Even detail and tree leaves and stuff like that.
Just everything about it. Just
yeah.
The amount of light and just.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you shooting on?
Canon 60.
Canon 60, nice. The Mark 1? It has to be the Mark 1.
Yeah, it's just the 60.
Yeah. I that's literally what I'm recording on is the Mark 2. But
okay.
Same thing. You get the pop-out screen too?
No, I wish.
Oh, man.
I didn't know that was an option.
That's half the reason why I got that camera, man.
Oh, but that's only the Mark II, right?
Well, we're getting on topic here, right? So started in Patagonia, you got your first Panasonic camera, and that was you said 10 years ago, however long ago it was?
It's 5 years ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
Maybe.
So then you came back to DC, and you're like, yo, why don't I start doing landscape stuff in DC? Because a lot of your work is very DC-centered, I've noticed.
Yeah. That's because of Instagram. That's one of the problems with Instagram.
What do you mean?
Well, you get in a trap of you do stuff that you know is going to get a lot of likes on Instagram.
Oh,
I'm stuck in that.
So you're trapping out there.
Well, I'm stuck in it now.
Oh, it's like a photographer's thirst trap. It's the monument looks good, so you're going to do it. But instead of big tits, it's just a nice, long exposure color gradient.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's essentially, yeah. That's pretty accurate. But, I mean, it does deter you. Even shooting horizontal, how much, when you're looking at great landscape photographs, are they vertical or are they horizontal?
They're always horizontal.
Exactly. But with Instagram now, I won't even post horizontal.
Yeah, I was about to say, it must be, it's kind of a tough thing that I've never ran into because, I never shoot landscape.
Yeah.
And landscape is always traditionally, landscape mode. That's why it's probably even called landscape.
Yeah.
So literally you're finding yourself forced to shoot vertical for Instagram.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Dude, isn't that crazy how, the platform changes how we operate?
Yeah, I mean, I've had to force myself to shoot horizontal. That's what, usually I'm out shooting film as well. I mean, I don't post that on Instagram because that's not going to get the precious likes,
So have you ever thought of doing portraiture or half-naked girls or cars or anything like that?
Cars. No, I mean, I've tried shooting portraits. I never post them. But I do it from time to time. I get requests and stuff to do it, and I'll go out and do it, but I'm just not good at it. It's a totally different skill.
You're just out marketing the landscape for the most part.
I don't know if I'm marketing anything.
Well, not marketing, but like that's like your main thing.
Yeah, for Instagram, like. But I mean, that's.
Random question: are you getting paid work off the back of your landscape photography?
Yeah.
Really?
Not much. I mean, it's not something. Considering I don't focus on it whatsoever, but yeah.
Are you full-time photographer?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
For the record, I don't care about that for the show. I'm just asking because I think there's a lot of photographers out there who, they're trying to make that transition or not. So I think everyone always kind of thinks that, at least I do, when I look at someone's profile and it's really good, I always wonder, I'm like, are they full-time? Are they part-time? Like,
oh, no.
You know?
I'm like 1 day a week right now. I mean, I'd like to do it more, but...
But it's good. At the end of the day, like, I see a lot of landscape stuff on Instagram, and yours really sticks out to me.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Why do you think that is?
Colors. Colorful.
And that's because of Lightroom, or just because like you're out there at like the right time of day?
No, I mean, you gotta be out. You have to be willing to get up for sunrise and sunset. And
how early are we talking? How early are we talking? Like
5:30.
Like walk me through like your landscape, like your complex shoot for like a landscape.
I mean, it just depends where it is. Like I'll go out into West Virginia and sleep in my truck on some mountain or whatever, waiting for sunrise. Like the perfect moment. Yeah. Well, I mean, you hope for it. Sometimes you do that, and it's a waste of 6 hours of your day. Yeah. Like there's plenty of times I've gone out there and get nothing. Go out to Shenandoah and you get nothing. Dang. But I mean, I think that's different with landscape photography than portraits. That is. Just going out there in the middle of nowhere by yourself and just waiting.
But depending on who you are, like that sounds fun. You know, like if you like being outdoors, it's like you would love landscape. If you don't like interacting with people, it's like you probably wouldn't like portrait. You know that's probably pretty accurate. And I'm not great with people. That's for sure. Well, shit, man, you're talking to me just fine, and we met on Instagram. Dude, that's funny. So landscape, it's just such like a crazy. It's like a crazy ball game to me because it's just whenever I meet someone who does a kind of photography that's just completely like south to my north of photography, like fashion and portraiture, I'm always so curious. Like, are there any details about landscape that most people don't know about? Because just waking up and spending 6 hours in your car, or sleeping overnight in your car, is like something that to me seems kind of crazy. Like I could never do that. I think I'd go crazy sleeping in my car in the Shenandoahs. Have you ever like ran into a bear or anything? Like, no, I mean, it's just one of those things you get used to. It's not that bad. I mean, you're rustling around in the woods and it's kind of hard to sleep, but other than that, it's not bad. You seem like a grizzly kind of guy. Like you could like you'd actually fight a bear if it happened. No, probably not. I'd probably stay locked in the truck. How about like a half-sized bear, like it's running at you? You taking that thing head on, or are you just like? Probably not. Yeah, me neither, dude. Oh no, you know what? I have run into bears out there in Shenandoah actually. I turned around and ran. You turned around just like straight up, just. Well, they were bear cubs, and I saw the mother like. That's definitely when you 50 yards away, and out of here. So I mean that was a wasted trip because it was like 10 minutes before sunset. So. Dude, so tell me about. Like, what kind of shoots do you have, if you can spill the beans, like, where are you thinking next, like, your next landscape shot? Because I'm just curious about, like, how you prep for this. Well, that's the struggle, trying to figure out where to go that there's not all, especially around D.C. Do you just go on an adventure and you, like, get to a point where you find it? Like, are you seeing other photos where you're just like, ooh, what's that angle? That's a good idea. I can get a better one? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, around D.C., I feel like... I mean, you're not going to get a photograph that hasn't already been taken in D.C. Like, that's just the way it is. Unless you have, like, a clearance or something. Well, yeah. I mean, unless you're shooting people. I think that's why I don't really do that. I think I'd like to. It's just, that's a whole another ordeal having to deal with people. You talking, like, portrait, or you talking, like, street photography? Or even doing a mixture, landscapes with people in them. I guess it'd still be portraiture. I think that'd be kind of cool, like a blend of I guess you couldn't do long exposure. It'd be kind of tough.
I've tried it before. It is difficult.
With a person?
Yeah.
I've tried long exposure once, and I tried to do the ghost effect. You ever try that?
It's come out like that, not on purpose.
It's you could if you put it on 10 seconds, you can sit somewhere for 5 seconds and then move somewhere else for 5 seconds, and it looks like there's two of you or something.
No, I haven't done that. Just people moving around.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can only do if you're not continually doing something new, then it gets pretty stale pretty quickly. I mean, you must experience that.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting to a point.
I'm not trying to imply that anything you're doing is stale.
No.
Yeah.
I think anyone comes to that. I'm getting to a point with portrait studio work where I kind of feel I want to go shoot outdoors now.
Yeah.
I spent the last 4 or 5 months just going straight studio, and so it's I'm trying to switch it up now. When's a portrait phase of just doing come over, let me shoot portrait. Come over, let me practice lighting and stuff. And now I'm just kind of I want to do it, but unless there's a killer backbone concept, I'm not just let's do it.
Yeah, I can understand that. DC's not a good place for that either, I don't think.
Okay,
I don't know.
That is a great topic. You don't think that DC is good for photography? Be honest, I'm not going to be upset, dude, straight.
Well, for landscape, no. There's no way you can say that.
I mean, is any city really?
Well, larger cities.
Okay.
I mean, if you're comparing, say, well, you're not going to compare Los Angeles to DC. The variety of things you could shoot there.
Yeah.
There's no tall buildings in DC, for one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that, every place has its own sort of, beauty.
No, that I would agree with that.
Yeah. I guess it's tough. Do you really feel like you've shot it all?
What do you mean?
Do you feel like you've really done all the landscape stuff in DC?
No. I mean, and there's a lot of really good photographers in DC that I'm nowhere near their ability. But I mean, how many times am I gonna try and shoot the Washington Monument before I just all right, that's as good as it's gonna get?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then you either now. Probably for every photo I post on Instagram, I've probably taken 30 or at least one roll of film. That's my main way of getting out now and keeping myself motivated.
Just getting your film camera and just walking around?
Yeah.
Dude, that's sweet. Do you live in the city?
No.
Where do you live?
Alexandria.
Okay. And for those who don't know, Alexandria is Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
And so you'll just grab your camera and go for a walk, and that reinvigorates you.
Yeah.
But that kind of hurts to hear sometimes, because the fact that you have to do that because you feel you have to feed this Instagram beast, the fact that the fact that I feel when it gets that bad, it's almost just say fuck it and just post what you want, post what you think is good.
I mean, I wish I were someone that could have that attitude
of
not caring what people think, but unfortunately I'm not. That's the problem.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, people love your perspective on things, which is why people follow photographers, it's
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get comments like that. It's interesting, but I mean, I don't know. I guess when you're the one actually taking the pictures, you're I don't know. It's a lot more mundane than it might look.
Yeah, I can see that, especially if you're trying to compare your long exposure, colorful, silky smooth water to someone walking on the street.
Yeah.
Or a street style photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that's pretty tough. But I don't know, man. I just don't think that that's a good mindset, man.
No. I mean, I'm sure it's not. Well, I mean, part of it's preference. I don't necessarily think landscape photography is the best photography out there. I would much rather be doing street photography, but I just don't. I'm not good at it.
So if you wiped the Instagram clean, what kind of photography would you post?
Probably only film, and only just street stuff, walking around, taking pictures of whatever's going on.
Well, dude, I'll follow you, man. You'll have at least one follow. Dude, I'll all your shit.
I mean, I think because if all right, here's what I was thinking, sort of like this. Like in, say, 30 years, I'm looking at all the photos I've taken. Like a photo of Great Falls is still going to look exactly like Great Falls 30 years from now. But if you're capturing like street light, like things in the city, like how streets are, like that's going to be sort of looking back at it like a...
even 5 years from now, it'll look different.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I think that probably has more value than a photo of Great Falls.
Yeah.
No, there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I still enjoy doing that type
I feel
of
like
stuff.
when you see a photo of Great Falls, like it's pretty much the same photo. It's the only variables are like the weather and time of day. But maybe that's what makes a great photo or not.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna be able, like, people took photos of, what is it, Yosemite, like Ansel Adams. It still looks the same.
Yeah.
You can go there right now and take the same picture probably that he took.
Mm.
And that might actually not be true, so I might sound really dumb right now.
No, I know. I completely get it.
Or like the New York City skyline, stuff like that.
You could go take a picture, the same exact frame that Ansel Adams took, but it would not look like an Ansel Adams photo.
Yeah, that's true.
And that in itself, I feel like, is like the beauty of photography. It's like, you ever seen those YouTube videos where it's like 3 photographers shoot the same model?
Yeah.
You ever seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all clicked on that. It's very clickbaity. Very much the same thing. It's like the perspectives are always different, no matter what you're shooting, unless you're just like literally shooting from the same like roped off.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically what I was saying is it's just sort of what I value in photography, or what I like about it. So I'd place like that type of stuff. It's being more meaningful in my opinion.
Yeah, in your opinion. Like, you want to look back on that and be like...
I hate talking about it, like, because it's easy to start sounding really pretentious really quickly when you're talking about that type of stuff.
Nah, I mean, but I think it's all opinion at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Like, everything's opinion at the end of the day, unless you have, like, 50K follows, and maybe you probably are a pretty good photographer. And you didn't pay for him. Yeah. That's very important.
Yeah. Let's not get into that with DC.
Whoa, let's get into it. But the pay for follow, you don't pay to play.
Pay for followers?
Yeah. Okay. I was actually kind of wondering about your followers.
No.
Dang, you have like 16K, dude.
Yeah, but I also have good engagement.
Oh, so you're replying to like every comment and everything.
Well, honestly, I don't even want to get into this. I don't want to like insult people.
Dude, it's fine. It's fine. We can insult people.
No.
Juicy drama.
No, I don't want to get in. I shouldn't have even said anything.
Dude, I mean, like, look, there's people who reply to their comments, there's people who don't reply to their comments.
Yeah.
Do you reply to your comments?
Yeah, for the most part I do.
I mean, that was perfect.
Oh, that's not entirely what I meant. But you can see when someone has 100,000 followers and they get 200 likes on a photo. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. Before you got here, of course, I was doing my research.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's got 16K for landscape in DC. Like, some part of me was like, is this real? Yeah. I looked at your post and I was like, yo, this guy's getting like 70 comments. Like, you're getting mad likes. I was like, this is definitely real. Like, these are some banger photos.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
But I can also see where that pressure comes from that you're talking about, where now it's like you've set this imaginary bar of like, if my photo is not this good, then I can't post it.
Or it gets deleted if it doesn't do well. It's like, even if something I like,
I mean,
archived.
Like, dude, I hate to hear that, because like, it's like, we're at the end of the day, we're still artists. So the fact that like we're like judging based off,
I want to call myself an artist,
dude. But you are, dude. Like, I mean, even if you're not like 24/7 a full-time artist, like on the tip of photography, like it takes an eye to do what you do, like to compose that, and then to do everything else. Like, it's still an art in itself.
Yeah, that's something I don't think I'm very good at. I think there's a lot of people in DC that are much better. Like,
so what photographers do you like? Who are some of your favorites in DC, if any come to mind?
There's a lot. There's probably two that got me started in photography. I know, you know, A.B. Pan Photo.
No, I never heard of it.
Yeah, she shoots a lot of monuments and all of that. But I ran across one of her photos, and that's what sort of got me into. So it was like, oh, time of day matters when you go shoot.
Yeah, that's a big thing that I've been focusing on, even as just fashion and portraits. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so particular about time of day. Like, I don't want to shoot between the hours of like 12 p.m. and like 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's not worth.
You know, I'm like, yeah, let's meet at 4 or let's meet at 5. But now it's like sun goes down at 7 or 8, and I'm just like, let's meet at 6 or something. Like that.
It's not even worth it.
So wait, what was that person's name?
And AB Pan Photo is her username.
AB Pan Photo. Okay, I'm like low-key writing that down.
Yeah.
And so like, she like was the first kind of monument photographer that you saw. Like, why do you?
No, I mean, I came across one of her DC photos, and I was just that's what sort of gave me that idea. Like, oh wait, you can walk around DC and take like these beautiful photos, and it never crossed my mind. And then, yeah, I mean, there's some good ones out there for sure. They're a lot better than me.
I mean, dude, there's always someone better.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I mean, I like to think I'm the best photographer in DC. But you know, then like, and literally, I could get on my Instagram and find a photo that just makes me just lose my shit.
But like, how many people in DC are doing similar stuff to you? Because you were talking about this the other day. I feel like this is your last podcast.
Oh, who do like fashion and portraiture?
Yeah.
Dude, it's honestly quite limited. Like, I feel like there's people who do it, but there's people that do it at a level I think I'm operating at. I think there's very few.
Right.
How about people who do landscape at like what you're doing? Do you think there's a lot? You think it's
there's a lot.
You think it's oversaturated?
Oversaturated? No, I mean, I want to say oversaturated. There's a lot of people doing good stuff.
I mean,
like,
I think landscape I think it's because it's approachable for anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a camera and go do landscape by yourself. Like,
yeah, you don't have to deal with people.
You don't have to DM a model and then not seem creepy, which should be easy for most people, but it's not. For some people, it is not easy. I'm friends with these models, and they've showed me some DMs, and they're just not cool. Like,
yeah, I've seen DMs that women get sent before, and it's like,
for the record, guys, a shoot is not a date.
Yeah.
Do not ask to get dinner afterwards, unless like you've like legit just shot and it's like, yo, I'm hungry. You're hungry? Yeah, let's go get some Chick-fil-A. Like literally, I just had a friend tell me that story that this guy was trying to shoot with her, and she was like, okay, I'm down, blah blah blah, and then he starts talking about like, yo, like let's grab a dinner afterwards and all this stuff, and she just cancels on him. And I'm like, dude, that's so creepy. Like, that's making it hard for us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a whole other thing.
What were we just talking about before that?
I don't even know.
Oh, how many people do what I do?
Yeah.
Fashion, portraiture. A lot of people do portraits.
Yeah.
How many people do studio fashion? Not many. You know?
Yeah, I mean, also, I'm mostly looking at, like, landscape accounts. So I don't really see there's a lot of stuff going on in DC.
You don't see, like, the bloggers and all that stuff. Have you gone to any photo meetups?
Yeah, that also got me started as well.
What do you think about those?
I like them.
Which ones?
Well, I started going to Walk with Locals.
Okay, that's tomorrow. They have one tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, I'll probably try and go to that. There's so many people at them. I get I'm like close to hyperventilating the whole time. It's just I don't deal well with a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
So like,
it's just like a struggle for me to be out there. It's like I've made a lot of friends through it, but it's one of those defects with me, I guess.
Dude, it's not. Everyone's different, man. Everyone is different. Like, and that's why you do landscape photography. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so it's fair to assume certain traits of photographers based on what they do.
Yeah, that's probably true. I never really thought about that.
Right?
Like, you're a lot more outgoing, so it would make sense that you'd be.
That's interesting. So is it a fair assumption to assume that a guy who shoots oiled up naked women's a creeper? Ah, I got you on the slippery slope.
I don't want to say that about people. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it's a cop-out?
What's that?
Shooting half-naked women.
I want to do it.
You want
I'll
to
say that. It's not my cup of tea.
It's not a cup of tea. Honestly, I don't do it. I'm open to it, but I don't do it. And there's been times when, like, the model is, like, okay with nudity and stuff, and I'm just, like, it makes me uncomfortable because I don't want to get Harvey Weinstein or, like, I don't want anything like that, like, ever.
That's a good
you know
point.
what I'm saying? Like, I'm so cautious of this, like, PC culture. Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry the audio cut out for this episode with Mark. It pretty much ended off with me telling a really funny story about a incident with really old, creepy photographers and young nude models. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that right now, but maybe in another episode I'll talk about that. But yeah, so that's essentially where the interview ended. So I just want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank Mark for coming out here and recording this episode with me. I try to have different photographers with different angles and different viewpoints of me on the show. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep trying to get, you know, bigger, higher profile photographers on the show for you guys. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I just hope you guys enjoyed, and look out for the next episode of That's the Angle with your boy, Bruce Allen. So that's it. And like I always end things, that's the angle.